I'm Dr. Lynn Wilson. I'm a bit of a hybrid. I trained as a textile designer in the 80s and 90s, and then I worked in education, but also as a freelance textile designer. But I moved into policy. I'll talk about that a little bit later, but eventually into social science. So I approach the issue of textile sustainability and circularity from both perspectives in terms of the design sector and business development, and also from consumer behaviour. And just to elaborate on that a little bit, too quick on my, and just to elaborate a little bit on that. So for the last 10 years, I've been working very much in a policy role with industry. In Scotland, we have a circularity plan. We have Making Things Last, Scotland's National Circular Economy Strategy. And I worked on that from 2013 to 2016. And this was within my role as the National Circular Textile Sector Manager, where I was tasked with implementing a circular economy strategy across the industry sector, and also to introduce a UK consumer campaign called Love Your Clothes. And however, a key challenge for Scotland is that our textile sector, whilst it's inherently embedded in our heritage, it is not considered a high value economic sector for the Scottish Government. And Zero Waste Scotland, as a arm's length body of the Scottish Government, are under instructions from government. And so after a really successful 3-year programme, unfortunately the Scottish Government decided to move on from this. And they moved me on to the National Manufacturing Strategy for Scotland, where I really learned a lot about implementation of Industry 4.0 and materials for technology and high value sectors. In Scotland, aerospace, defence, marine are very big sectors which also rely on material technology, and I became very interested in this area. However, my passion is in behaviour change and how we really understand where we're going and how to get there. And so I decided to leave policy and industry. My friends were aghast, but I decided to dedicate myself full-time to a PhD at the University of Glasgow. And it's perhaps not as widely known as it could be that the start of the seed of the Industrial Revolution in the late 1700s began at the University of Glasgow when James Watt was a technician there. James Watt invented the part of the steam engine that enabled the textile industrial revolution in terms of mechanisms of the weaving looms, which was the beginning of the global textile industry. And after my PhD, which focused on consumer clothing circularity and how we understand how consumers acquire clothing, how they then use it, but ultimately how they dispose of it and where it goes in the system, I produced a document which is now in the process of, it's become a white paper that was presented to the Scottish Government on the 19th of April, and that white paper will now become a potential part of the Circular Economy Working Group in Scotland, and that paper will then potentially become a national strategy for clothing circulation in Scotland. Aligned to that, I set up a company called Circular Design Scotland Limited in 21, and we were funded by the University of Edinburgh to investigate a circular materials repository. And of course, we define a repository as a digital resource rather than a circular material library as being a physical resource. And the idea of the repository was to really take a deep dive into understanding where are we at, with bioregenerative materials, synthetic materials? Where are we at with the research and the issue of scale? And in between all of that, I had the wonderful opportunity to work with the University of the Arts London on the Circular Wool project with the esteemed Professor Rebecca Earley, who has always been a great supporter of our work in Scotland. And through the Circular Wool project, I came to the Here Wear project. And around the same time, I met a sponsor who was willing to invest in a full-time business development manager for Circular Design Scotland Limited. And it's been a really exciting period of growth. And that growth has led to Circular Design, a rebrand of our organisation to Circular Design Synergy, which is more reflective of our ambition to be a UK and international engaged organisation rather than just servicing Scotland. Our circular material repository research has developed into a circular material lens, which is a training course for circular business transformation. It's certified by the Continuing Professional Development Service, which is the purple CPD tick. We're accredited with them at the moment for the UK, but we have the opportunity to go internationally. There are 6 modules that starts on the top right-hand corner with circular material systems, which again is that introduction to what do we mean by circularity as opposed to linearity. It then moves on to closed chemical loop systems, synthetics, and valorization, etc., explaining what that is and how it can be implemented within a business model. Moving on to regenerative by Nature's Design, and it was wonderful to see the Indigo Dye project in Finland. That's the kind of projects that we will be investigating and highlighting within this training module. Rethinking Business is about helping businesses to really take an investigative look at their own business model and to identify where there might be opportunities to rethink their supply chain, to change materials, and to develop their model. Consumer-centric by Design is our 5th module that's based on my research, and it aims to explain the consumer perspective from a design lens. So I believe in a lot of the time we're responsibilizing the consumer when actually the consumer is working in a system that is working against them. And so we go from the position of the consumer as essentially good, but we need to work with consumers to understand what they need and how we can provide that for them as designers and businesses. And finally, the Implementing Circularity model is about how businesses can take all of the learning from these modules and implement them within their own business. And businesses can select to just choose whatever modules they want, but in order to gain a certificate, they need to complete all modules. And to develop all of this work and to research the circular material repository, what we found is that the scaling up of new material technologies is the key challenge for the sector. So we kept finding these incredible bioregenerative materials, materials from bacteria, excuse me, lots of different really exciting materials that use byproducts, but we couldn't see, they would suddenly disappear, and then we realized they were a research project and there was no scalability at the moment. The main challenge for us at Circular Design Synergy is a lack of access to material samples. So the repository as a digital repository is great, but of course as textile people we're very tactile and we really want a library, and we would love to build a physical mobile library that we can take to businesses to share learning with them. And what we want is to find ways to collaborate and invite colleagues in material innovation fields to come to Scotland and share their knowledge. So with our training, with each module, we will have a business case study. We will have a business with us. We hope Scotland really enjoys learning from the international field, and we love it when someone comes to Scotland to tell us what they're doing and how they've done it and to share. And so there is a real invitation there that we would like to extend. And in terms of extending that invitation, that's how, in terms of Hereware, we see it as a brilliant opportunity. We'd like to provide our circular material lens training to members to give that certified training certificate. We'd like to participate in discussions on circular business models and to help organise events or demonstrations. We're very good at panel discussions. We have a broad range of stakeholders across policy, design and industry, and yeah, we're open to helping with that. We'd like to collaborate with other community members as suppliers, so making sure that we have your samples in our repository and our library, and promoting new fibre technologies by members in our circular material repository. So we'd also like to share with you our research and how we see that developing. In terms of supported services by Hereware, we'd like to see a catalogue of biofibres and textiles that we can share within the material repository. We understand that we're a commercial venture, but we see potential to work out ways to do that. We'd like to see circular design guidelines that can align with our training and that we can use. And we're acting as a matchmaker service with suppliers and producers that we can access samples from and have permission to use within our training programme. So in conclusion, and I know I've probably taken up too much time, we really value the rich network of projects and partners, and this should be a visible strength of the Hereware community. We see the value of Hereware in sharing partner experiences, and of course the development of events like these that promote all of our business and project opportunities. And we want you to get in touch if you'd like to visit Scotland, either in person or virtually, and have a fibre textile story to share. And please get in touch if you have developed a new fibre textile that we can promote in our circular material repository and take it direct to businesses. Thank you so much for your time, and great to be here. Thank you.